Okay, we're back. Dr. Ashley, can I hear you?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yay! We did it! Woo,
Yay.
woo, woo. All right, so for those who are just joining us, or maybe you're going to come back in, I started by saying I'm Dr. Barbara Eaton, and this is Dr. Ashley Saylor. And the reason I asked her to be my guest today is that Dr. Ashley joined the boot camp, about 5 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And has done just an amazing job. One thing I really love about Ashley is that despite the fact that not every circumstance in her life right now is the way that she would want it to be, she still hasn't allowed that to hold her back from being a phenomenal businesswoman. Even she just moved her business into a new location, is doing phenomenally well. She texted me at the beginning of the week and was like, I don't really even have any space left in my calendar on my schedule for more practice members. And so she's just done a great job and is an encouragement to everyone else in the boot camp. So the 56-day boot camp is what we're talking about. It's a 56-day chiropractic boot camp to double your business. And there is a private Facebook group for everyone in the boot camp, which I got to say, I love the Facebook group. Do you, Ashley?
Oh, yeah. It is like the best thing. It's very positive and there is no negativity on there, which I love.
I agree with you. And there's no victims.
No, not at all. None of us. No one.
So I've often said that like I don't really have high maintenance people in my life, whether personally or professionally, because I just I don't see that there's any point in talking about things that are bad. Let's just roll with the things that are good. And so it is in the boot camp Facebook page. It's all about encouragement and what are you doing and get after it and no excuses, all of those things. And Ashley's a huge part of that and always encourages everyone. So Ash, let's talk about where were you when this journey began? Like, let's discuss where were you emotionally? Where were you just like relationship wise? Where was your practice? And then now what's going on?
So when I first came across your page, I was just starting to get ready to move my office. And I had gone through a divorce about 1.5 years ago, and every day and night, that was all I thought about. It trickled into my business. It trickled into, how I'm raising my son. And not that I necessarily dwell on the fact that it happened, but I just couldn't believe that it happened. And I just felt very dark, very secluded, and just not very open. And my business was doing okay, but it wasn't good enough for me. I know what I'm capable of. And I was just that day, a couple days before that, I was randomly on Facebook and I came across your ad. And I was like, well, this could be something, but I really just am tired of all these management companies, blah, 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 maximize living, all that stuff. I just had no desire for any of it because I haven't seen anything good from any of those places. And I have a couple of really good colleague friends that have utilized you. And I didn't contact them. I just saw that they utilized you. And it's like, I'm going to give her a call. And within 10 minutes of talking to you, I went from feeling sorry for myself and depressed and frustrated to like, oh man, she's actually like, she's going to kick my butt if I don't shape up here. and taking that leap of faith into, what, do you want to stay like this? Do you want to continue living like this? Do you want to be grumpy all the time? No one else really saw it outwardly except my family because they see me all the time. Yeah. But I was tired of feeling like that. I was tired of feeling like we talked about the other day, kind of like I was the one on the back of a tugboat, like someone's just trying to pull me along instead of having people come to me. Yeah, I can adjust great, but my overall lackluster approach in life was just, I was fed up with it. And I sing your name and praises every day because you have no idea what you have done for me. I've gone to counseling. I've done plenty of other things. I've talked to other colleagues. Nothing has hit home for me like what you said to me the first day, repeating everything back to me, which I did not want to hear. And I'm sitting there as you're repeating it. It's like, wow, I sound like a big baby, you know. But you took me from having a somewhat steady practice. Some days were slower than others. To since I reopened my new practice that was just 10 blocks north of where I was, to like, holy crap, like I cannot believe how busy I am. And that's not even completely applying the business model. It was changing my mindset. And it is all in thanks to you.
Oh, well, you're doing the work, and it's great to be connected together. That's for sure. So let me ask you something. In changing your mindset, and you can think about this for a minute before you answer if you want. Was it that our conversations have been, oh, poor baby, like life is so hard?
No.
What's it been? Like,
no,
what's it been to make you go from, you said, I was in a dark space. My practice wasn't good enough for me because I knew I was capable of more. I went from being, feeling like I was on a tugboat being drug along to now my practice is like overflowing. What? And not a long period of time. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 weeks.
It was actually within 2.5 weeks. I was just waiting for my business to get up and running. But it was amazing, just the transformation. And it's like, God, really, have I kept myself in this for this long that all it took was just applying a different mindset to get going? This is ridiculous. Brief amount of time, just after that day of talking to you, I went home and mind you, a lot of my issues come from anxiety of not being worthy enough, self-esteem issues that have kind of plagued me since I was probably about 12 or 13 years old. And many women go through this. And it really inhibited me in how I approach my practice, trying to get new patients in here, because I'm so terrified about what everyone thinks of me, which is so ridiculous because that has nothing to do with what kind of person I am. But it took me all that brief amount of time in talking to you and the coaching. You're not sitting there feeling sorry for me and saying, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that and you don't deserve that and you're a better person than blah, 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 blah. Who cares?
I care. I know. It's just the past. I mean, it's just...
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, dwelling on it and sitting there and feeling sorry for myself and telling people what I've been through, what is that going to do? It doesn't change what happened.
That's right.
What I'm looking to change is to be a better person for my son, to be a better doctor, to help more people, not sit around and be like, this is what I went through and this is why I'm here. I'm done with that. And you really helped me with that. And I couldn't have wished or prayed for anything better. So, it was a blessing more than you realize. I mean, going from such a dark place just in my mind to something that was actually hopeful each day, that is more than any amount of money could ever pay for.
Oh, yeah, I'm so incredibly proud of you. Let's talk about anxiety. So do you still feel anxious? Is it gone?
Yes. No, it's still there, but it's not as bad.
Okay. What do you do when you feel anxious? Like, do you feel like you sit in so we talked just on the previous broadcast about a bias towards action. And I'm just going to bring this up again for everybody. So it starts with the locus of control. Many times that we're trapped in our head. And one of the reasons that we're trapped in our head is that we have to feel like I have to be motivated in order to take action. I have to feel this way about this system, or I have to really love this before I can do it. That's not true. That's a big fat lie just to keep you locked in a mental prison. I mean, it's just the way that it is. So the locus of control says that the more you believe that you're in control of your life, you're in control of your actions, you're in control of your future, that you have the control to name your day and to drive your name. So instead of being the tugboat, instead you get to be the lighthouse and shine the light, wherever you want it to be, that you're the one who makes a day happy, or you're the one that makes a day sad, all based on what you decide. So that's called the locus of control, that the more that we exercise that, the happier, more successful we'll become. Well, how you stay in that locus of control is by exercising a bias toward action. If any of you have felt like, well, I'm just not motivated to exercise, or I'm just not motivated to do a Facebook Live, or I'm just not motivated to do whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're motivated or not. So even after 50 years of researching this whole motivation thing, they have found that it's a bias towards action, that it's the person that, instead of like thinking and planning and organizing, the person that's the happiest is the one who just jumps in and takes action. So I remember when we first had our coaching session, you know, we were talking about the past and, and all that stuff that really just become details. And not that it wasn't important, but I remember saying to you, like, you know, the more you talk about it and the more you think about it, then that just means that you want to keep torturing yourself with the past. Now, if you don't want the past to be today, stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. And instead of a bias towards action, and that's exactly what you've done. So what's been most fundamental for you from the boot camp that's made the biggest difference? So we talked about mindset. So what about mindset is different that you're learning in the boot camp than you've experienced in other parts of our profession?
Well, first of all, is actually taking action and not sitting around and waiting for people to come to you. To really be proactive with what we're doing through like organic marketing, which I had no clue you could do with Facebook. That was like such a gem. And just worrying about cost of everything instead of sitting around and worrying about stuff and thinking, you know, why doesn't this happen? Why doesn't that happen? How come I can't tell my practice members to actually stay in care and do it the way I want them to? And they're just kind of like, yeah, I'll come in, blah, blah, blah. All these scenarios, what the boot camp is teaching me is to how to work with people, how to talk to them, how to get inside their heads and show them what they're worth, and not just put dollar signs in front of them and have them be freaked out, or have me coming from fear, but coming from abundance.
Nice.
And that's huge. That's huge.
Hey, let me ask you something. So you previously said something, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen right now, that you knew you were capable of so much more. Mm-hmm. How did you know that? How did you know that you were capable of more than how you were living?
Because when I first discovered that I wanted to be a chiropractor, and I've seen how I've been able to help people, like when I did personal training and stuff like that, I would see just that light up in their eyes. And I could see that when I talk about chiropractic to people, that when I would explain it, they really engaged. And it's like, wow, I can actually get through to people and I can help them. And I would take people who are non-believers in chiropractic, or just in good health for that matter, and watch them totally do a complete 180. And it's like, I've seen what I'm capable of, but I've allowed other things to inhibit me because you let things get in your head, you believe them, and it becomes who you are. And it is so not me. I'm not a negative person. I'm not a Debbie Downer, but that is actually what I started to become. And it was, I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. It's like, I don't know who this person is. And I was fed up with it. And that day when I saw your ad, and then I talked to you, it's like, well, it's a leap of faith. It was by God's grace that I found you. And it's what I needed.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your impression of yourself now? If it was that I know I'm capable of more, but yet it's almost like the baggage throughout life. If you think of each thing as like another backpack, right? So we get beat up in a relationship, or we get beat up at school, or we get beat up because of family, or we get beat up and we get beat up and we just carry all of that around. What have you learned in the boot camp that made you take those bags and just go?
Well, and it's hard. I'm not saying that it's all gone, but what I've learned through this is that motivation, believing in yourself, applying it, and not just hearing it and saying it, there's very different actions and applications that come with it. So actually believing it and applying it would have made my practice in the last few weeks grow crazy. And I believe in myself. And I also, and I'll be completely honest here, I know that if I screw up, that you are going to be chewing me out. And that I've got to take every step. And I mean that in a positive way. I don't mean that in a horrible way by any means, but it's because you care. And I've taken your caring attitude and applied it to my patients. Like, if I don't take action in their health, if I don't take action in my own life for my own health, nothing good is going to come of it. I'm not going to be able to be there for my son. I'm not going to be able to be there for my patients, for my family. So why am I putting myself in this imaginary cage of ridiculous junk that has nothing to do with where I'm at now? It may have brought me to where I am, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. Yeah. And just to clarify, and I'll have Ashley confirm this. I have a client who recently started, and she's with a management company, and her coach with that management company told her, "I'm not your friend, I'm your coach." And I was just like baffled, because I feel like all of my coaching clients, I'm your friend, but because I'm your friend, I care so deeply. And I feel like I see all of this brilliance and all of this potential in my coaching clients. And I'm just like, come on, like, can't you see it? And let's get with it, and let's go and take action, and, take action and enjoy the emotions from your action instead of waiting for the emotion to grab you.
Yep.
Let's talk about another fundamental of the boot camp population, of the boot camp community. And that is an obsession with our goals, an obsession with using our time, and just being obsessed about our life. Tell others about that.
Well, when you see other people posting stuff on the Facebook page, it's all motivating. There's nothing on there like, oh my gosh, today sucked, or I have this going on, or feel sorry for me some more. I want some support for you to feel sorry for me because I can't get through today. It's none of that. It's nothing else going on in the world. It's everything about being positive, being motivated, and trying to be the better you. And we're all supporting each other. We're not taking away from each other's business. We're not saying, so-and-so did this in their practice and I don't really agree with it. It's all uplifting, asking, hey, you guys, I flubbed up on this on the business page. Can you help me with this? Or, I'm not really sure about this approach with my fees or marketing. Do you guys have any suggestions? Or putting up what you've put out there for patients for marketing and getting positive feedback, or just critiques on what you could do better. There's nothing negative about it, and it's very motivating and uplifting, and everyone is friendly on there. So we're all in it for the same reason. There's nothing in there that's kind of pushing back or saying, I really don't feel like looking at this. I actually enjoy getting on there every day and seeing what people post.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So because we don't talk about negative, we could be called like, oh, you guys just aren't authentic, or you're just putting on a facade that everything's okay.
Well, everything's not exactly, I wouldn't say that everything is okay, but where do you want to be in your life? Do you want to sit and be like, you know what, today's just really crappy. I've got this going on, I've got that going on, and you know what? I'm just going to complain about it to every single person. I'm going to put it on Facebook, and then all my patients are going to see how miserable I am today. We all have bad days. It happens. Today's kind of one of those for me with some stuff going on with my son. I'm going to have to cancel some of my patients for the afternoon. It was freaking me out a little bit, but it's part of life. That's just how life is. This whole program is not a facade. It's not this gimmick of, oh my God, look how happy we are. Look, everyone's positive and no one has a bad day. It's just, we're not going to sit there and complain about it. We can discuss some of it and say, hey, this is kind of what's going on. Can you help me? But it's not this feel sorry for me approach. And it's just the get you nowhere.
And I think that's the distinction. It's to say, hey, here's my challenge. Can you help me? And so I just want to talk about how terrible everything is. And I just want to complain that people have no money and that this is wrong. And insurance companies suck and medical doctors don't like us and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, no, if you're going to present a challenge, then ask for help. We'll jump in and help you. And then we're expecting that you're going to take action. Why? I mean, why else would you invest your time, energy, and money to double your practice in 56 days if you weren't going to take massive action. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you're working smarter since you've been in the boot camp?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I still have a long way to go, but yes.
In what ways are you working smarter?
When I talk to patients, I'm not coming from a place of fear. I'm coming from a place of abundance. Even if I don't have exactly what I want at this time, that's what my goal is. And I'm coming from a place of actually caring and listening to where they're wanting to be. And I got to tell you, it's the approach and who I am and how I've been with my patients. They're responding very, very well to it. And it's not like I'm telling them, hey, guess what? I joined this program and she's teaching me this and that and the other. I'm just actually outside of my own mind, and I'm not thinking about all the other crap that has gone on. I'm really applying what you've taught us and what I'm still learning on a daily basis, and it's just working. There's nothing special. I can't say that I took like a magic protein shake and it like made me think better. You know?
That's awesome. All right. So, what last words of advice would you give to those who are watching, who maybe have never, let's start with individuals who've never heard about the 56-day chiropractic boot camp to double your business. And then after that, we'll talk about people who, whether they've seen a post that you've done or a post on my page, and they're just kind of like sitting back and waiting. So let's first talk about those who've never like really heard about it. What would you tell them about the 56-day chiropractic boot camp to double your business?
Yeah. Well, what I would say is think about where you are in your life. You're obviously looking at this for a reason. Is it because you want more? You're not happy with where you're at, or whatever the reason is. It doesn't have to be a lack of money. It could be that you want to improve something. What are you looking to improve? Anything, and we all have stuff that we can improve in our life. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at this as a marketing gimmick, get that outside of your head. We've been traumatized with all these other things that have been marketed to us through either the schools that we went to or on Facebook or whatever. Get away from that mindset and take a look at it as investing in your future, investing in you, and investing in your practice. You are taking time to invest a different mindset and apply it into your life. It's going to make you healthier. It's going to make you feel better. It's not about getting a percentage for making this many marketing or getting new patients in or whatever. It's about you investing in you and who you are and being a better person. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person, but finding your best qualities and taking them out instead of being bombarded by all the negatives. And it is a daily process. But I can tell you right now, the negatives that go through my head and the anxiety and bouts of stuff that I've dealt with, it wasn't worth it anymore. So you got to decide what's it worth to you? What do you want to feel like? Do you want to go through anxiety attacks and have weird health issues? And if you have children, I have a son, I don't want him to feel my grumpiness, I don't want my patients to feel it. I want to be happy. and happiness comes with thriving and success and drive. And that is where I feel this program has really put me. It's a daily thing. It is not something that just magically appears and bam, you're done and you're good to go. It takes time. But having you, Dr. Eaton, coaching you and guiding you, and the other people in the boot camp, that is the best thing that no amount of money could ever buy. So, I come from a place of extreme gratitude, and I was truly in a dark place.
That's awesome. And I love the word drive, because I think that is so critical that, our chiropractic philosophy is about optimum potential, right? And that's not just optimum potential right after I get my chiropractic adjustment. That's not just optimum potential in my health. Optimum potential is holographic. It's how you live your life. That's why living every part of your life as an obsession is really the answer to optimum potential. So when you're being a mom, be obsessed with being a mom. Push everything else out of your mind and be obsessed with being a mom. When you're at work, be obsessed with serving your practice members. Be obsessed with working out. Be like, whatever you're doing, It's optimum potential. And that's
Yeah.
what really, in my opinion, integrity isn't just telling the truth. Integrity is living to our optimum potential in all things and in all ways. So now that you've made that transition and that's more of your mindset, how like what impact is that having on you personally and professionally?
Well, personally, I have more energy and more compassion and just wanting to play with my son. When I go home at the end of the day, I'm tired, I'm burnt out, but I still work out and he comes with me and we do our little workouts together. It's giving me my life back with my son.
Nice.
It's giving me my drive back with my patients. Even ones that have been with me for the last 5 years, they're like, they love my new office. They say it has a completely different feel. Well, it has a different feel because I'm different. The way it feels is how I'm approaching it. So, I mean, the little things that seem like, well, they wouldn't really make that much of a difference, it made a huge difference in my life. And it's still a daily progression,
Yes.
you know? It's not like it's magic. It doesn't just come and everything's fine. Things come up, but it's helping me deal with things better and to not freak out like like I used to. I mean, it's get inside my brain and it's like, oh my God, it's like a freaking circus.
Do you find that your business is more enjoyable because
Yes.
you've implemented the systems and now there's predictability? Like,
Yes.
In we kind of start in week 1 talking about reverse engineering, and then obviously we pick it up more in week 4. How has that made a difference? And then the last question I'm going to ask you is, so far, what's been your most favorite topic or week, or like that you've learned?
So as far as like what I've learned, it's more so in how to market myself and have confidence in myself and confidence in chiropractic. I could, talk all day about chiropractic, but really having that confident approach and how it works and how to work with other people and how to help people.
Nice.
That's the biggest thing I've learned from it, and how to market. And it's not, and getting out of that fear of sales, because that always freaks me out because I hate that. But it's really taken me out of that approach and put me into a wholehearted approach, and it works. It's just flipping what we've been driven into our brains about marketing, and it's just taking a different approach.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Any last words that you want to leave our audience with?
This boot camp is amazing. God bless Dr. Eaton. I truly, out of all my time in practice, this has been the most beneficial and worthwhile investment that I've ever made. And truly, it is changing my life, and I couldn't be more grateful. So if you're thinking about doing this and you have any hesitation, just try it, and know that she is wholeheartedly in it with you, and so is everyone else in this program.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Ashley.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking time. I know that you got to get to your son.
Yeah.
And yeah, reach out to Ashley if you have further questions. Please. Or reach out to me. I'll put the link in, and you can find out more about the boot camp. Keep up doing an awesome job. And are you having fun?
I am. I love what I do again. Like, I always love chiropractic, but I don't feel like I'm just going through the motions each day anymore. And that is a huge, huge change. And it's worth every single second.
Nice. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.